The universe does not break loudly. It fractures quietly. In the farthest reaches of the multiverse, realities collided, merged, and collapsed without warning. Entire timelines vanish in silence, leaving behind echoes, whispers of heroes that once stood tall. One such echo reached Earth. Britain. Brian Braddock, a man without purpose. Brian Braddock never wanted power. He wanted normalcy. A brilliant physicist by training, Brian worked at a top-secret research facility in England, studying dimensional energy, forces that theoretically connected alternate realities. His research was considered groundbreaking, yet dangerously unstable. Colleagues admired his mind, but Brian himself felt empty. Ever since his parents' mysterious disappearance years ago, his life felt unfinished. Something was missing, something calling him from beyond understanding. Late one night, alarms screamed to the facility. A massive energy surge tore through the lab. Reality bent. Walls cracked like glass. Brian was thrown across the room as a glowing rift opened before him. From within it came a voice, ancient, calm, powerful. The multiverse is bleeding. The Otherworld. Brian awoke on stone ground beneath a sky unlike anything he had seen. Purple clouds swirling over golden landscapes. Towers floated in the air. Time itself felt unstable. He had crossed into Otherworld. Before him stood Merlin, the ancient sorcerer of legend, and Roma, guardian of the multiversal gates. "You stand at the crossroads of existence," Merlin said. "The multiverse needs a champion." Brian laughed weakly. "You have the wrong man." Roma stepped forward. "You are the right man," she said, "because you doubt." The sword and the amulet. Merlin presented two objects. The sword of might, raw power, unstoppable force. The amulet of right, wisdom, balance, responsibility. One will make you a conqueror, Merlin warned. The other will make you a protector. Brian hesitated. He did not reach for the sword. He chose the amulet. The moment his fingers touched it, light exploded around him. Pain, memory, purpose, power surged through his body, not corrupting, but aligning it with the very fabric of reality. "You are now," Merlin declared, "Captain Britain." A hero born from balance. Brian returned to Earth changed. Stronger, faster, able to sense dimensional fractures. But power came at a cost. Every use of his abilities tied him closer to the multiverse. Each battle weakened the barrier between worlds. Captain Britain was not just a hero. He was a living anchor. The threat emerges. Opal Luna Saturnyne. Deep within Otherworld, Opal Luna Saturnyne, ruler of the Starlight Citadel, watched events unfold with cold satisfaction. "Let him believe he is the hero," she whispered. "All champions break eventually." She had seen the future, and in it, Captain Britain stood at the center of a multiversal war. The world did not notice the cracks at first. They never do. Small things began to go wrong across Britain. Subtle, almost ignorable anomalies. Streetlights flickered into medieval torches for a split second. Old castles appeared where office buildings once stood, then vanished again. People reported seeing armored knights reflected in shop windows, only for the reflections to disappear when they turned around. Brian Braddock felt every single one. The Amulet of Right burned against his chest like a warning siren. Reality was tearing. A hero out of place. Brian stood atop the white cliffs of Dover, staring out at the sea. The wind whipped around him, his Captain Britain uniform glowing faintly with multiversal energy. This was not how he imagined heroism. No cheers, no celebration, only responsibility. Every fracture pulled at him, demanding his attention. "Balance," he whispered to himself. "I chose balance." Yet the universe was anything but balanced. Behind him, a portal shimmered open. Roma stepped through, her expression grave. "The breaches are accelerating," she said. "Otherworld can no longer contain the pressure." Brian turned sharply. "Pressure from what?" Roma hesitated. "From others like you." The Captain Britain core. With a wave of her hand, the air split open, revealing a vast hall beyond imagination. Brian stepped through and froze. Hundreds of figures stood before him, all wearing variations of his uniform. Different flags, different colors, Different faces. Men, women, even beings that were not entirely human. The Captain Britain Corps, Roma said, champions from across the multiverse, each bound to protect their reality. Brian felt dizzy. You mean I'm not unique? Roma smiled sadly. No, she said. You are necessary. A tall, armored version of Brian stepped forward, older, battle-scarred. I'm Captain Britain of Earth, 833, he said. And trust me, you don't want this destiny. The cost of power. Brian trained with the Corps. He learned to fly between dimensions, to sense temporal distortions, to fight enemies that existed half outside reality. But with every lesson came darker truths. Many Captain Britons had died. Some had gone mad. Others had turned tyrant, believing themselves superior to those they protected. The amulet doesn't corrupt, the older captain said quietly. But the weight of choice does. Brian began to understand. Being Captain Britain wasn't about strength. It was about restraint. A shadow moves. Back on Earth, 616, Britain's reality fractured further. From one tier emerged something ancient, something wrong. In the ruins of Stonehenge, dark energy pooled, twisting the air. From it stepped mad Jim Jaspers, a being whose mind could warp reality itself. He laughed as the stones bent and screamed. Oh, this world is delightfully fragile, he said, and it has a new toy wearing a flag. Jaspers raised his hand. London screamed. Buildings melted into abstract shapes. Gravity reversed. Time skipped seconds at random. And Captain Britain felt it. First true failure. Brian arrived in London at supersonic speed. What he saw broke him. The city was alive, but distorted. Streets curved upward into the sky. People floated helplessly, trapped in gravity loops. At the center stood mad Jim Jaspers, applauding. There he is. Jaspers cheered. The patriotic policeman of reality. Brian attacked without hesitation. It was a mistake. Every punch reshaped the battlefield. Every strike made Jaspers stronger. You can't beat me, Jaspers laughed. I don't follow rules. I rewrite them. Brian pushed harder. The amulet flared dangerously. Reality cracked even more. Roma's warning echoed in his mind. Balance. Brian stopped, lowered his fists, and London stabilized, just barely. Jaspers frowned. Oh, he said, that was clever. Then he vanished. Brian felt his knees. He had saved the city, but he had not won. The judgment of Otherworld. Back in Otherworld, Saturnyne watched everything. Her lips curled into a smile. Excellent, she murmured. He doubts himself. Merlin appeared beside her. You're pushing him too far, Merlin warned. Saturnyne's eyes glowed cold. He must break, she replied. Only then we become what the multiverse truly needs. A choice approaches. Brian stood alone again, staring at his reflection in the Thames. He saw more than himself. He saw futures. In some, he was a hero. In others, a tyrant. In many, a corpse. The Captain Britain Corps had not prepared him for this. Because the greatest enemy wasn't monsters. It was choice. And soon, he would be forced to make one that could doom countless worlds. As the amulet pulsed, a new rift opened behind him. This one felt different. Familiar. American. A shield stepped through,